Welcome to the Kashmir Notebook, a special frontline broadcast with Gowhar Geelani. This is the fourth episode, and today we are going to interview Mr. Sajad Gani Lone, who is the chairperson of the People's Conference. Welcome to the show. Mr. Sajad, our audiences in South India first want to know, who is Sajad Lone? Define Sajad Lone for them.
Sajad Lone is a very ordinary person, and as I say, I belong to the 99% majority, the common masses, who in the last 30 years have seen a lot of travails, from going to jail, facing brute interrogation, to struggling like anybody else, compared to the 1%, which is your traditional parties, the king's parties, who have inflicted pain on these 99%. So I can proudly say I'm amongst the 99%.
So you count yourself as a victim?
Of course I've been a victim. My father has spent 10 years in jail. His elections have been rigged. He was not allowed political space in mainstream. The infamous 1987 elections, he was one of the main victims. And then I have seen jail. My entire family has seen jail. And, and I always have believed that, yes, we should never condone the gun. We should always condemn it unequivocally. But if inhabitants of a place are pushed to a corner and a gun is thrust on them, then those who thrust the gun on them, by virtue of rigging, by virtue of repressive policies, should be also held accountable. And that has not happened till date.
What is Sajad Lone's politics? On your website, which is the official website of your party, there are two slogans. One is dignity and another is development. Can you define both? What do you mean by dignity and what do you mean by development?
Look, wonderful. At least I'm so happy you asked me. This is the whole crux. For me, this is the Kashmir problem. If you look at the Indian Bronx, the New Delhi side, let me be politically correct when you speak. So if you look at the New Delhi side, they will talk about development. They will talk about what they have done, and they are right. When in 1947, this was a very, very backward place. They pumped in billions, if not trillions of dollars in bringing this place up in terms of creating infrastructure of roads, electricity, dams, schools, hospitals, medical colleges. And yet, this small population of a few lakh, they've not been able to win over. So are these Kashmiri people very bad people, very ungrateful people? That's point number one. So despite development, you're not able to get it. Or doesn't Delhi know how to court and win over people with dignity? And do they believe that development is the way to sort of win over people? And the whole concept, debate of development minus dignity, how important it is in conflict situations. So Kashmir is a classic case. I believe that whatever development has been done has been shorn of dignity. If we had done less development and added more dignity, we would not have a problem. There would not have been thousands of graves in graveyards, where graves with dead bodies filled with bullets. The history would have been different. And even today, and it's not just today, I'm talking of 1947 till date. Somehow, it is these Kashmiris, otherizing Kashmiris. They've been otherized right from day one. See, many otherizations took place. They otherized the Muslims, they otherized the Dalits. But this otherization of Kashmiri Muslims was a different, distinctive case altogether. And it carries on till date. So, if there is a terror attack, Kashmiri boys and girls will be attacked in the rest of India. If a Kashmiri Muslim dies while fighting a terrorist, nobody gives a damn. They don't even talk about it.
So, Mr. Lone, your party, People's Conference, it has a history from the decade of 70s. So it's like more than 5 decades, almost 55 years. But electorally speaking, you have not been able to, spread your kind of roots from North Kashmir's pocket, Handwara or Kupwara mainly, or Langate. What is the reason that you have not been able to translate, electoral performances? And given the history of your party, what has gone wrong?
Gee, I don't want to say in these 50 years, 30 years, we did not fight elections. Because my father boycotted elections. He was a part
of the Hurriyat, yes.
So he was out of the mainstream. 87 was famously raped, so you wouldn't be able to, judge by that. Then I had to start from zero. And then being a separatist and going to mainstream, the chances of you surviving even a win is 1 in a million. If you look at cases all across the world, whosoever makes that transition, it's been a fatal transition. And then today, I've said this in one more TV interview, but I'll say it today. Before I die, I will, some of the things that I would pass on to my, younger generation. He said, if you are a separatist, leave separatism. It's a barren field. Nothing will come out. But don't make the mistake of joining mainstream. You will never be trusted. Never, ever be trusted. Yes, the incumbents, the traditional incumbents, the King's parties, the PDP and the NC, they will get together, call you names. Any outsider from 99%, what I said earlier, coming in to join mainstream or aspiring to be a ruling party, they will get together before the advent of BJP. They would call you IB. They have been floated by the IB. Now, these two offsprings, political offsprings of IB, have actually the audacity to call everybody who comes in as IB. And after BJP came to power, now they call everybody BJP. And both of them have had, good alliances with BJP. And the bureaucracy, what you call that, the Indian bureaucracy, covert and overt, they actually help subtly to push this narrative of theirs.
But
so you are an outsider.
Are you referring to the narrative which has actually, kind of described you or labeled you as a BJP's poster boy in Kashmir?
No, nobody has labeled me. This time I've been taken over in that by Mr. Umar Abdullah after his shawls and everything else. The shawls, now the rates have gone up. He has put in so many shawls. There's a classic case that before elections, it all of a sudden thought that he would come with a sword, like the Urtugul. I thought he's the Urtugul. He actually might have had...
Are you referring to the Turkish series?
Yeah, with a sword in his hand, mounted on a horse, beautiful horse, running towards BJP. Here he goes, and the sword is going to come down. And what we saw at the end of it was a very expensive Kani shawl. I have heard when he goes to Delhi, the BJP leaders, they run away. That lest he will come and darden them with a shawl. He goes to Delhi with a dozen of shawls in his suitcases. So, forget the humor part, but the reality is for us to survive here. It is, even the media, it might be you, it might be the fraternity, they will ask me like you asked me now, that are you the poster boy of BJP? But you will never ask Umar Abdullah. No, hang on, but just let me speak. For me, it is 100 times a day. For him, it is once in 100 days. That is the difference.
No,
and I will tell you, nobody has till date asked him that you were the foreign minister at a time when...
We have written about
when let me speak, this is the problem. This is the traditional problem. We'll not let speak when...
please, yeah.
Nobody has asked him that when you were the foreign minister, human rights violations were at its peak in Kashmir. To kill one terrorist, you have to kill 5 innocent people. That's how it goes. To jail one terrorist, you have to jail 10 innocent people. And that's happening even now. And you as foreign minister of Kashmiri descent, a Kashmiri politician, were paraded on the international stage, justifying every killing as it being the right thing to do. And that no innocents have been killed. The father and the son that time would be paraded across the world to justify every single killing. And such big sin.
They were also part of the NDA.
That's fine. That's all I'm saying. Look at the position. I, as animal husbandry minister, is some grave threat to Kashmiris because there's a BJP government. But there is a deputy foreign minister who incidentally, during his tenure, now go and do an RTI, was the minister of waiting for most of the foreign prime ministers who would come. And you make small chitta. So how is it in Kashmir? What would he say? No, we asked for no. He would say, sir, there are terrorists. Everybody being killed there is a terrorist. No innocents are being killed. But nobody has ever engaged him that way. Why? Because he is in that top 1%. Nobody dare do that. Same is the case with the other party. When it is Mufti Sahib, I was checking the data the other day. The highest number of killings in terms of in one incident, they've been in his tenure. Chotu Bazar 61 killings. Gaw Kadal 40. Handwara 27. Right? I think 15 or 16 massacres during his tenure. And nobody talks about it now. He presented the Afsapa bill in Parliament. Does anybody talk about it? And that Afsapa bill is a law even today as I talk to you. And if they come on duty today and they do something here, by law, by virtue of that law, they will be accountable because they were doing
Impunity.
in line of duty.
Impunity.
It's a total impunity. And all of a sudden, now you tell me, don't you find anything abnormal in it? That these very people who are behind these killings, behind this international narrative being created by a junior foreign minister or a home minister who starts this carnage of so forth, and yet people vote for them. Didn't you ever find it unnatural that this is not only people voting, there is something invisible also happening? But the reality,
I know what you're referring.
Nobody was there to question that invisible factor.
I think
there is a big white elephant in the room. We're not willing to see it.
Let's go back to 1987. You often mention 1987. So before 1987, for example, your own father, who was unfortunately assassinated in the 90s, and he was also part of the unionist politics, and then he joined the Hurriyat Conference. And your journey into the politics was basically into the unionist politics was post 2000 scenario. So my question is, at that time in 1987, there was Muslim United Front, which came as a political electoral alliance, and it sought to fight elections. And then there were allegations of massive rigging. So now there is, you're again in news. I don't know, for some reason, either you chase controversies or controversies chase you. So there is this new alliance which you have come up with, which is called the People's Alliance for Change. And you, your party, and there's another party, and some defectors from the Jamaat-e-Islami, JDF, Justice Development Front. How do you see the future of this alliance? Is it a political alliance or is it an electoral alliance?
I don't think. I think Mr. Geelani, the word defectors that you use is, I don't think is a pejorative. I don't think you should be using it that well.
No, I'm using it because there were three former Jamaat-Islami chiefs who maintained distance.
Our alliances with the JDF, where they came from, is none of my business and should be none of your business either. Calling them defectors is predetermined, right? And unfortunately, don't take it back.
No.
Our problem in Kashmir has been that I am doing the media job and media is doing my job. If we had done our respective jobs, a lot of lives would have been saved. And this whole narrative of the agency would not have been there.
Technically speaking, Jamaat-Islami is currently banned. And it's a proscribed organization.
They have not issued a single statement.
And three former chiefs of Jamaat-Islami have issued statement that they are not part of this JDF.
Okay, now, when was the last time Jamaat issued a statement?
I mean, it has been under suspension. I'm saying they are right now under, they are unlawful organization, they are proscribed organization from 2019, and that the ban has been extended.
When did they last issue a statement?
Not formally.
How did they issue a statement today?
That's what I'm asking you.
If they didn't dare issue a statement in the last 10 years or 8 years since they've been proscribed,
6 years.
How do they dare to do it today? That is something, for a journalist, I would have checked that.
What do you say?
That simple. They've reduced. You should say that after this thing, they reduced the security of our leaders.
That's what I'm asking.
Right? They reduced because it's not been like here.
Whose security has been reduced?
It's not been like here, and you are pre-scripting here using the word defectors, then getting one is 90, one is 85. I have an alliance with JDF. If they have been in the past with Jamaat-Islami, I have no problems with that. Absolutely no problem. It's a new entity. Right? And let me mark my words. If it is allowed to stay, if it flourishes, it is the platform.
So is it a political alliance or an electoral alliance? That's what I'm asking.
It's a political and electoral alliance. They're intertwined. You can't separate the two.
I referred to the 87 elections, mentioning MAF, because at that time also there was an alliance, electoral alliance. How do you see the future of this?
Is that the King's parties have gone crying, telling them that this will be the new MAF. It is not the new MAF.
Crying before who?
Of course, the uncles and aunties. Okay. You know which uncle. One has one uncle, the other has another uncle, then aunties. We are not fighting them. I think, trust me, I would, if I had to redo it again, I would never do it. It's so difficult. We are not fighting them. You talked about why I have not been able to explain. We are fighting the established uncles and aunties who are in Delhi. They are their groomed, lovely kids. right? There will be kids even at the age of 90, okay? And we have to behave ourselves even if we are in our 20s, okay? So,
So you are saying the security of these people have been reduced?
Almost, I don't want to go into anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I have had, and I will be very honest with you. You know, my father was killed. And now Governor LG Saab has issued an order that every case should be, you know,
sort of reviewed.
I hope they review the case of my father too, and see to what extent who was responsible. I would really appreciate that. I will welcome that. And I hope that the killing of a political leader.
You have been talking about establishing truth and reconciliation.
Right. Yeah, I always said that. And I hope that that sets a standard for security agencies to not unintentionally or intentionally actually script an assassination by withdrawing the security or not giving adequate security. This is the whole, it's a moral question, a philosophical question. That if Mr. Sajad Gani Lone at that time was demanding secession from India, is it the responsibility of the state to let him live even after having clear inputs that he might be killed? Or allow him to die given that he does not subscribe
to the ideology,
to the idea of India? That's a big moral question. And in my father's assassination, I think that moral question is answered or unanswered. That's a very, very important thing, and even today.
So you see there is no closure as yet.
There is no closure for anything. If you are withdrawing security, now there is one of the leaders is Mr. Akeem Mohammed Yasin. He was shot at by militants. He had, I think, 4 or 5 bullets in his body. And I think it's even today a miracle how he lived in a very far off village. And I think they got him by bus. And he survived. These are miracles. And you want to undo the miracle now.
So let's lighten up the discussion and interview a little bit. You tell me about you when you belonged to the other ideological camp, when you were not a unionist politician and your ideas were different. You also, conceived this achievable nationhood, which other people also criticized your detractors. So my question is, like, you always say that you have been tortured, you have been jailed, and you suffered a lot when you belong to the other ideological camp. Can you share some experiences?
I don't say it is true. I'll tell you, first of all, about achievable nationhood. You know, the Prime Minister of India, one of the persons who people may not know, but I studied economics. And the reason I studied economics is because Mr. Manmohan Singh was my role model. I've always studied him even when he was an officer. You know, I don't know where I started, but as a 12th class student, you had very few, and with that limited worldview in the 80s, you had very, very few examples. And the great man, as Prime Minister, invited me to a round of talks as a separatist politician, which he did with everybody. He called Hurriyat, he called Yasin, he called, and that was before that, Mr. Vajpayee had called everybody. At that time, I was with Hurriyat, so I wasn't called separately. The Hurriyat guys didn't take me out. So,
how was your experience with the Hurriyat?
No, first I'll tell you this. Then he told me, Sajad, I really liked your ideas. You're talking of a thing which is, why don't you sum them up? So I summed them up in achievable nationhood. And every idea was not given to him. There were many ideas which were new. So it's not, let's not put him that he subscribed. No. I said something. He said, why don't you sit today, late in the evening? I said, no, sir, I will come back and I'll work hard. Then I wrote this. Unfortunate thing is that prime ministers, they even don't know that what the bureaucracy is doing. And this great man never knew that I tried to get a copy to him. I tried 10 different ways to send a copy. I would not get an acknowledgement. And I was punished by the bureaucracy for writing that book. My wife is a Pakistani. Her visa was denied for 3 years. My children had to start school in Pakistan because they could not come and live with me on their own. Right? They were Indian citizens, but they had to stay there.
One linked question, did your spouse find some problems with visa? Did you suffer on that count as well?
Yes, of course. She's not allowed entry into India because she had not been given the LTV visa, the long-term visa. So spouses who had a long-term visa were allowed to stay. While as those who didn't, we had been applying for the last 4 years. Gowhar, incidentally, this is the same visa which Dr. Farooq Abdullah Sahab talked many times in his interviews that Sajad Lone surrendered to BJP because he needed a visa for his wife. Now today he should have at least the courtesy to, he's a very senior politician, to at least call me and say, I'm sorry, Sajad. I was wrong. I would not say the word apology. But my wife is almost her daughter's age, right? Saying it in interviews that I surrendered to this for a visa. Then the visa was not there. And our family is today broken and separated because of that visa. She cannot come here, I don't know for how long. And while as the perception given was as if she is having some 5-star treatment, no, we were not given even that LTV visa, which is a basic right, for a. And one more thing.
She's the daughter of late Amanullah Khan.
That one more thing I have to tell you on camera is for my younger generation. One more piece of advice. Never marry a Pakistani girl if you have to live here.
So you said
or in Pakistan.
if you belong to other ideological camp, never join unionist camp.
Never join unionist camp because they will never trust you.
Do not marry someone.
Do not marry a Pakistani if you have to live in India or
as a Kashmiri. Do not do that.
Do not do that if you have to live in India or Pakistan. Go and live in a third country or else don't marry. Because our countries are not civilized enough to see that it is their citizens' wife. They will always see the Pakistani in her, or Pakistanis will see the Indian in me. So the level of civility is at a very low level. So we are not matured as a society to say, no, she's my citizen's wife. I have to give her some respect. Or she is my citizen's husband. Or he is my citizen's husband. No. It is you sign.
So there is no humanistic approach.
Absolutely not. Yahan to fir bhi you can go to the embassy. In Pakistan, if you go to the embassy, they come up for you. They start hitting you. I remember when I went for Asma's visa when we were getting married, and somebody came, I said, hey, I'm an Indian. This is my passport. Don't. They thought I was a Pakistani who wanted to go to India. It's very difficult there. So it is the same. There's a slight, they're perhaps more terrible than us. But these two things never do. They will never trust you. Then if you have a Pakistani wife, then the two kings parties will tell you.
So let me come back to the achievable nation. Do you think it's a pragmatic document?
This thing very important.
Okay.
You talked about Amanullah Khan. Miss Mehwan, on the day of my father's martyrdom, gave a sort of a tweet, But you know what photograph she attached? She attached a photograph of my father, me and Mr. Amanullah Khan. So I just thought that why would she put Amanullah Khan's photo, Mr. Amanullah Khan's photo, my father's photo, and me in the middle? This was a reminder to Delhi. You remind whose son he is, whose son-in-law he is.
So you still think it was deliberate?
Well, if you think it is not, then you should change your profession to be very honest.
No, I'm asking you because I have my job is to ask questions and give you enough opportunity to answer my questions.
Whether it is daytime or not.
No, I'm not saying it's. I want you to say it because I can't. My job is to ask questions, not answer them for you. So, okay, another question about there is this self-rule document of the PDP. There is autonomy. The National Conference wants to go back and turn the clock back to 1953. And your achievable nationhood. But tell me, given what happened on August 5, 2019, how do you see the pragmatic, practicality of all these models?
Look, I'll tell you something. However hard we may try to convince ourselves, change is the law. Changelessness is against the law of nature. Political situations don't remain same. They change, and they change overnight.
Geopolitics also.
As we saw in Operation Sindoor.
Or in recently Iran, Israel, Ukraine, Russia.
See, I think, I don't want to go into geopolitics. I'm not an expert. But I think a lot of things have changed in the last 3 years with Russia, Ukraine, India, Pakistan, and now Israel and America and Iran. A lot of things have changed. Technology has changed, everything has changed. And I'll tell you, all these documents that you talked about will be valid. None of them will sort of lose its importance. But in favor of my document, I'll say, mark my words, whenever there are two leaders who are statesmen on both sides and have the power.
You mean in Delhi and Islamabad?
Yes. It will be.
Not in Srinagar?
Look, I'll tell you one thing, very honestly. Either Delhi or Islamabad talks, that's option one, which I don't think is a very good option. Because getting two statesmen at the same time, the probability of that is very low. The other thing is
somebody else making them talk.
no, but that is, the other thing is Delhi talking to Srinagar. My whole premise is that Delhi does not need Rafales or S-400s. It needs to win over the people of Kashmir.
That you go back to dignity and development.
Yes, if you win over the people of Kashmir, you have won the war.
So one more interesting question that I have to ask you, and I think you will like it because you have perceived some of the questions very tough. So one soft volley at you is, you talk about that you will talk, this alliance, new alliance, will talk the same language in Delhi, same language in Jammu and Srinagar. What do you mean by it? And are you trying to say that the other political parties, chiefly the National Conference and the PDP, they speak different languages in different places?
Forget the past. The past was very difficult. Sheikh Saab, one of the greatest leaders, would speak one language in Delhi and one in Srinagar. And those days, there was such an information vacuum. We would never know after 10 days that we spoke.
Now is the social media age.
Now it is the new world. In this new world, get your research team to see what all they have said at different times, even when they are in power and out of power. In power, they become the worst perpetrators of human rights, right? Human rights violations. And out of power, they become the biggest champions. For example, Omar Abdullah or Mahbubaji say they issue a statement today. Why has this killing taken place? Just hypothetically speaking. And say the Honorable LG says, well, these are exigencies of the administration. They are much less than what you have done in your times. But I tried not to use force, but that was the last option, as was the option with you when, and he would say, 4,000 people were killed during your tenure in this to this, 300 people were blinded during this to this. Then what happens? But since they are uncles and aunties, nobody will ever talk to them like that. If I had so much of blood on my hands, I'm sure there would have been a statement from there that, shut up. See, look at your own hands. But nobody's showing them the best.
So, Mr. Sajad,
this is a very important thing,
okay,
which people need to understand. I just hope media that why isn't anybody showing them the mirror? For example, we all believe that this great Bharatiya Janata Party, which has won 3 central elections and dozens of state elections, is so naive that it did not know that by attacking NC and PDP, they were glorifying them in a 99.99% Muslim population in the valley. We thought they're so naive. They were not naive. They were actually glorifying them. Now, these ED raids. There was an ED raid every week before elections. They never arrested anybody. But it was the headline, Farooq Abdullah summoned, Mehwa Muftiji summoned. Where is that ED? Where are those cases? Tell me, where are those cases? Have they vanished? What was that?
So in the PDP-BJP government, you became a minister, you won your seat, and you became a minister on the BJP's quota.
No, I did not become on any quota.
Okay.
This is...
but you have showered praise on Mr. Modi.
I have.
And you have also said on record in my last interview with me, when you said that when you were facilitated visa, when you were comparing Congress with the BJP,
Yes.
you were like soft on the BJP because, you said they were nicer to you.
I am not the only one who showered praise. These days, the greatest praise showerer is Mr. Omar Abdullah. Then Mahbubaji, as a prime minister, who has not showered praise. I just showered praise on Mr. Manmohan Singh, and I said he was my role model. But you will not talk about it. No, you will never talk about it.
I will talk about it.
But
we will talk about
having said that, yes, I in the assembly said, and since you have brought it up, it was in that great man's tenure, who I really idolize.
You may
now, Mr. Manmohan Singh.
Manmohan Singh.
Okay. Manmohan Singh, right? That my visa was denied, and there was another uncle doing it. Incidentally, there was another uncle doing it. That was stopped by another uncle, and this one is being done by another uncle. So the uncles have their categories. So that time what happened is for 3 years, and they had stopped my visa also. I could not also go. Now let it be on record, during NC government and Congress government here and Congress government in Delhi, I was denied a passport for 4 years. Right? On the same analogy as they do it with the kin of the militants or overground or whatever they say, that they are overground workers or relatives of militants, and denied it, as I was a part of that collective punishment which is in force. So I got my passport. The day I took my oath as a minister, I came back and there was a passport. Before, and not only that, I think there was one Kashmiri leader who was in PAC, PAC. Incidentally, our alliance is also called PAC, People's Alliance for Change, but this is another PAC, pre-approval category. So what happens in these things is, you apply for a passport, and then they send it to the CID, who gives an adverse or a favorable police report. So if they give it favorable, you get a passport. If they give adverse, you don't get a passport. They give.
You've always spoken about these police reports as well. Yeah.
My category was, I was not even allowed to apply.
Okay.
So I was in company of 200-300 top terrorists.
Okay.
This is during Congress government, but I don't want to hold it against them. Probably they did not know it. They must be at a bureaucratic level. I'm sure they did. But the state is involved. The state police is involved in the whole passport process. So when I talk about police verification, there is some substance to it because I'm a victim. My entire family has been a victim. You know, even my children.
You understand the processes.
Right. But when Mehbooba ji or Umarullah Saab talks about it, have they not done it the same thing during their tenures? So why trivialize an issue by championing it? When you have implemented it during your time, don't you think it trivializes? That's a humiliation.
Who do you see your adversary in politics? Is it the National Conference or the PDP or both?
Uncles and aunties, nobody else, I swear on Allah. I'm fighting the uncles and aunties, not them. They've been rejected a long time back.
Okay.
I'm of the opinion that if people are actually voting for those who send people to gallows, who killed them, then there is something wrong with us as a population. I sincerely believe there is nothing wrong with us in the population. There are invisible factors which ensure that they become rulers. Otherwise, look at your neighborhood, look at Bangladesh, look at Afghanistan, look at Pakistan. There was almost pro-Imran Khan, there was this thing. Hasina Wajid, she killed 30, 40 people and she had to flee. Why is it this place wherein two families have blood on their hands? Maybe they didn't want it, but that was, as I said, exigencies of the administration. And yet you find a very exalted space for them. In politics, forget society. Typically, for any family to be involved,
are you saying that they assume a moral pedestal and define the moral compass?
No, I'm saying that the whole morality thing, it is surreal. It's surreal. It's not true. We live in a world of make-believe, Alice in the Wonderland, right? And the Wonderland is created by the invisible forces. I can't say beyond that because I've just got a passport after a lot of delay.
Okay.
To be very honest with you, it took a lot of time. I was, and I don't want that to be taken back.
Okay.
So the point is that you have to understand that, either there is something inherently wrong with us as a people, or there are invisible factors.
So some of your former colleagues who belong to the other ideological camp are right now political prisoners. Some of them are suffering on health account, and you have issued some statements also. What do you have to say about all those political prisoners who are suffering on account of health?
Some things I would not say on record because I'm witness to some things where the state has promised something to some people. Great nations are magnanimous. Magnanimity defines the greatness of a nation. A Yasin or a Shabir Shah Sahab might say they are not. But India doesn't believe that. They believe they're Indian citizens. The Indian state position is that they don't write Pakistani, they don't write Azadi, they don't write American. So with their own citizens, there has to be some compassion. If somebody has spent 38 years in jail, the other, but Yasin also must have touched now 30. It's time for compassion. It's time for reconciliation. It's time to show that other side of our nation, which is love and care. You can't always have a face of someone with a stick in his hand.
So two last questions. One is, you talk about this new alliance as a political alternative. How hopeful are you about its future? That's question number one. And then I'll ask the second one once you answer.
I am very, very hopeful because at times it does seem I'm alone and, you have to create a perception and, you get more people, you're trying to get more people. But then you also have to factor in the invisible forces. Short of that, I promise you, this can do very well.
Given your experiences where you often refer to uncles and aunties
And one more thing.
and invisible forces.
This is for the BJP. When I went to meet the Prime Minister, the only thing I said is that I want space. That the system, and the Prime Minister was new. He smiled and laughed. He said, why won't anybody get space? But the whole idea was that I knew that left on my own devices, they will not let me.
Is it the same meeting when you said that you felt like meeting an elder brother?
Yes, the same meeting. The only reason I went. Many people had met him at that time, secretly. I insisted I want to meet publicly. When the people who managed, I said, no, I had to meet publicly. People should know I went and met the Prime Minister and that. Now, if you ask me today, why? Because I wanted the bureaucracy to know that, look, I met the Prime Minister. If you do anything, I'm going to complain. I know what it means to be.
So you understand the posturing and perspective.
But unfortunately, when I talk of invisibles today, it's a question for that Prime Minister. I hold him in IST. Nothing against this person. But it is Congress Part 2.
Given your experience,
BJP on Kashmir is Congress Part 2, an extension of the Congress policy.
Okay, given your experience and the invisible forces that you often refer to, or the uncles and aunties, as you put it, how do you see the electoral future of this alliance? Because your party only has one seat at this point in time, and Hakim Yasin, maybe he wins his seat. So how can you challenge the traditional parties?
No, there isn't. Traditional parties are on the. They are not going to. They have. Just go on the ground. Just go on the ground.
Do you think there is anger against them?
I almost got better by a group of angry women yesterday. In my constituency, they don't know I'm not the government. They think MLA is the government. Then I told them, "Main nahi hu, wo hai, usko maro." But they wouldn't listen. But honestly, I would suggest that they go with a lot of security. Not for militants, but for people. 6 months down the line, if they continue like this, it will be difficult for elected representatives to even enter. So we have lost 4 seats by a whisker. I also won by a whisker. That was because, as I said, it was all set. Give the dog a bad name, kill him, tell everybody he's BJP, and don't let him win. And that's exactly.
So okay, but how do you fight this perception of
that
being?
If they do, of what perception?
That you say that there has been a perception about you that they deliberately, like you said, posting pictures or calling you a poster boy of BJP.
It is over. You are at liberty to say that again and again. And I just hope that when you meet Humrupla next time, you tell him that did he defend? No, please let me say that. Did he defend human rights violations during his tenure?
He did, yes.
Right.
Of course.
And you will tell Mehboobaji also that how much
you watch the interview and see what I asked her.
But that perception is gone. Only perception. Even with that perception. At 500 seats, with Imran Sahab losing 5, we would have 2. At 2100, we would have a Langate seat.
That was very closely fought. Yeah.
So in 1600 votes or 1900 votes, we would have 3 seats. In 6,000 votes more, we would have 4 seats, and in 10,000 more, we would have 5 seats. That was after everybody had ganged up to sort of label us, right? And unfortunately, when you get labeled, then you see that maybe some support comes from the administration or there is something. No, they were even more lethal in their. I have seen, and just Langate seat, we were fighting an all India rights. I don't know what it is, but we fought the state in Langate. It was not the candidate. Trust me. In my eyes, Irfan Pandit Puri, the great son of the soil, is a winner from Langate. But then,
and not Khurshid, Engineer Rashid's brother.
I said in my
assessment.
Right? In my assessment, he has won by at least 2,700 votes. Right? Everything was pre-electoral, pre-poll. Nothing was post-poll.
But that's what I'm asking. Given your experience, if what you're saying is we take it for a fact, how do you see the future of your alliance?
The reason I talked to you and wanted to talk to you in detail is that this is a mainstream national channel. Let's hope that somewhere we get heard. Somewhere we get heard. You see, the point is that you have to understand with Congress, there was an outsource model. They were good. We would outsource it to the agencies and tell them, look, objective 1, 2, 3 macro. We want our friend to help him there. That's it. These guys, they say, we'll do it on our own. We don't give a damn to anybody. Yet, it's at the end of the day, the same set of those bureaucracy, they are, dictating things there. I honestly believe that BJP would bring in a change in Kashmir. I thought they will give space, as they had given space in 2002.
During Vajpayee?
Yeah, I will not, you see, they gave space to Mufti Saab. I will not use the word that they made PDP. Nobody can make a party, right? They gave space because normally space was constricted to one family. Then it was expanded to two families. But it was Mr. Vajpayee who afforded that space that if he wins, why do you stop him? Right? Maybe they helped him or facilitated.
When they won 16 seats.
Yeah, that's, you have to understand that, right? But they gave that space. And and you have to make people understand in the south of India or north of India that in Kashmir, space is not a matter of birthright. It's a matter of whether you'll be afforded that space or not. That space, hamari arzi, our application is it. It seems is not. Yes, we get a lot of bad press. They accuse of everything. And one more thing, because you are the worst people I have found is not the Indian media, national media, is the secular India media. They come with their own list of choices.
Agendas.
He will be very secular. She will be very secular in the rest of India. But here they will come up with A and B. This is Modi, this is pro-Modi, this is anti-Modi, and this guy they should go with. It is the worst. They call Godi media. They are the fathers and mothers of Godi media, the secular media. We have seen it. They digested 1987 and didn't even, kaise mein bekar nahi dala, they didn't even burn.
You mean on the rigging?
87. Anything hell they see today. For media, in digital media today, what should be defining their job is reporting what they see, not national interest. Problem is that every journalist who comes from outside comes with a baggage that I have to, as if India is here because of them. Somebody has told them probably that India is in.
So it's like a nationalistic pilgrimage.
Yeah. At the end, they will say that, okay, fine, this, that. The questions will be loaded and, there'll be friendly matches or those interviews. That's another thing. That extended arm, they will never do anything. They will never talk to people. They will talk to 5-6 people and then write a note.
So last question. One is when in 2000, early 2000, when you said that you did not fight contest elections, and then you joined the unionist camp. How would you describe your experience being in the unionist camp? You said that you will never advise anyone who's from the other ideological camp to join the unionist camp. How do you see your own journey? And one message to the entire South India who want to understand Kashmir. So these will be my last questions.
I think if you ask me, the luxury that I would want as a Kashmiri is to be treated like any other state.
As an equal.
As an equal. As an equal. Please treat us as an equal. And let it be known to you all that borders are protected by people of Kashmir, essentially Kashmiri Muslims. Take a pen and a paper in your hand and see how many Kashmiri Muslims have died defending their country. It's time to stop, or I would say, I would rephrase it, I have to be clear. It's time to appreciate, appreciate their valor, appreciate their courage, their bravery, and not in any ways trivialize their sacrifices.
Resilience.
By going after every Kashmiri in the rest of India. Or by labeling every Kashmiri, generalizing. When you don't generalize their sacrifices, why do you generalize the actions of someone or militant or a terrorist? So I would say at par with the other parts of the country, right? Please don't, give us space. If somebody comes up, don't stop them. Don't pre-select for us. Don't treat us like idiots.
You are saying have election, not selection.
Yes, have election, not selection. And
but will the Kashmir issue be resolved without talking to Pakistan? You understand economics, you understand politics?
1,000,000% that if ever in Delhi a statesman comes, and now don't ask me whether Mr. Modi is a statesman or whether Mr. Manmohan Singh was a statesman. Whenever there is a statesman, he or she will come, meet his Kashmiri brothers and sisters, call them and tell them, let bygones be bygones, let past be past. We have also made a lot of mistakes. But look, come here. Let's come and make it together. He wins over the people. No need to buy Mirage. And you will. One more thing which I forgot. don't ever think that Pakistan has interest in Kashmir because of UN resolutions. They know it's a crap piece of paper which is of no use. Their interest stems from an unhappy population and an unintegrated population. That's how they see it. The day this population integrates,
So are you saying that they fish in the troubled waters?
The day this population is happy, they will take the first flight to Delhi, tell them your side is your side, our side is our side. Please water security ka khayal rakhna. And
Indus waters
the team will be your young. The whole victory. Now, for someone to come down from his high horse, there are articles in Delhi also. It's not only one article here. There are articles in Delhi. I have to do this, I have to do that. If they come off
I
there,
had to tell the audiences this electoral is basically an epic Turkish serial where this son of Suleiman Shah, this Ertugrul, and then his son Osman, who then kind of became the architect of the Ottoman Empire.
yeah.
So yeah.
So there are articles there also. If they now come off their high horses and talk to the people of Kashmir, trust me, my hand on my heart, I believe that the key to resolution lies in happy people of Kashmir. If there is no discontent,
You say no external victory get exploited.
Victory does not lie outside borders. It lies within borders. And military, look, when you fight India, Pakistan, it's a war which India will never lose. It might also be a war which it will never win. Now, military victories, winning and those what do you call it? Forgetting the word, unambiguous victories, military victories are impossible now. We really don't know what happened between Israel and Iran. It seemed Iran did much better than what.
There's no verifiable.
But there is no verifiable evidence. So, apart from that, it's very difficult now in current days and times of the conventional armies seem to have become obsolete. We are in a world of change, technological change. So, I would have thought that they should talk and make peace with the people of Kashmir.
So you say the solution is a satisfied Kashmiri.
And I'll tell you one more thing. I just hope this reaches there. Gowhar, when I talk, someone like me who is still a suspected,
I'm not calling it. You call it to yourself. Then you get angry.
Right? Still a suspect. No, who is still, you got it wrong. Who is still a suspect of being a separatist, right? Because that's what is right. This is what you see is not what is there, right? Someone like me, I make statements, anti-India statements, bordering secessionism. Nobody touches me. And then you have King Abdullah, Mr. Umar Abdullah, and then you have another madam. Then you have other players. They all make these statements. What's the anatomy of a kill? I want my audience to know, your audience to know. The anatomy of a kill is, we make the statements. A young boy gets excited. He either picks up a stone or a gun or a keyboard, right? And eventually ends up in grave. Till date, since 47, you've always gone after that small kid. Either jailed him or killed him or, interrogated.
So you're saying the real instigators are these people?
Me also, we all. Today, if by mistake you like some comment which you should not like,
Post.
You'll be called to the police station and UAP is ready for you. But look at our...
Is this how civilized societies should have the laws?
No, not at all. Look at our statements. The day this BJP government or any future government or any Congress government goes after this or goes after nobody, says it's free speech, or if he has to or they have to go, then goes after the instigators, this issue is resolved. ये गरीब के बच्चे के पीछे, forget going after the poor man's son. Let him or her live a life of peace. You are man enough, go against those who are sitting in your drawing rooms, having tea and coffee with you, and give you one story there, and coming here and making instigating statements, which are instigating, which incite people. Or don't, why are you fighting with the common man? Why are you fighting with the common man? No government on earth has won a war against the common man. Why are you doing it here? Stop this outsource model. 99% cannot be managed by 1%. Make friendship with 99% of people. They are your power. You just need that passion and compassion to see, to unearth it. that this is my power.
But wouldn't it be intellectually dishonest to say that all the 99% who make their own choices, don't they have their own agency, or they just get instigated by these people? Is Kashmir issue not an issue?
No, what I'm saying is that taking it from India, no, Kashmir law, we're mixing that. Kashmir issue is an issue. And if among those 99%, someone out of his own choice, what I'm saying is let the same set of rules govern you, me, and these two people in the room. Let there not be a special thing for me. We, like I've been speaking to you for 1 hour, a common man, he or she will see this and maybe get excited. That's what I'm saying. You have youngsters, 17, 16, 18, very excited. And yes, as I said, I will repeat it. For resolving Kashmir issue, there are two options. Either Delhi talks to Islamabad or Delhi talks to Kashmir. If Delhi talks to Islamabad, there is no space for us. That's the reality. Then they will get together and, give us what. If Delhi talks to us, that's why I've always been a votary of talks between Delhi and Srinagar. The moment you talk of Delhi and Pakistan, we get crowded out. Why would I want Kashmiris to be crowded out? And I believe in the power of the Kashmiri society to have a solution. I believe we have in us to bring in a solution. We can defeat anybody. All forces of violence, which might come in the event of a solution. But for that, Delhi has to stop. And it's not today. It's the last 70 years, 80 years. Because the problem is that once we get obsessed with BJP, we might be compromising on our knowledge of history. These Kashmiris have to be taught a lesson. Get out of that mindset. No, get out of that mindset.
So on that note, thank you very much for speaking to us. Thank you very much.